Well, that didn't go so well. Yes, people, welcome to LFC Red Forever channel. So we're doing the review show, Liverpool versus Aston Villa, which finished 1-1, sorry. Not happy about it. Not happy about it. The season could be over. We might not even finish in the top four now. It's still that glimpse we have. Anything can happen, as they say. I've resigned. I've resigned to it. I think we're going to be in the Europa League next season, but still, we could sign the right players and then compete for the top four or the Championship next season. It depends how we go in it with the transfer window. Maybe FSG will decide to spend the money that we're supposed to be spending as well. So, yeah, I've got one guest today. Many reviews might have seen him on the last show, which is Let's Talk LFC episode 39. Sorry, my screen just froze. Yeah, so let me bring him in. As many of you know him, is Baz. He's got his own channel called LVFC TV, and I've known this guy for a long time. So let's bring him on. What's going on, bro?
Big up, man. Big up. Thanks for having me on again, and big up to the people in the chat. Make sure you smash the likes, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff.
That good stuff. Yes. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the last game, the match. So let's start with that, bro. Let's start with that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so the last game finished 1-1, as everybody knows about it. Didn't look good. Didn't look good at all. We didn't even actually have a shot on target in the first half, which was unacceptable from my end of Liverpool side as well. So, especially when you're the home team, Baz, why do you play like this? Why is it every single time a team deep line defense, we just don't have that, brain power to figure out things, if you know what I mean? Uh, if you look at Aston Villa's performances in the past, we always struggle against them in Anfield. It's continuation of the same stuff every season with Aston Villa. Why is it always when we're at home, especially we beat them away when we came back from international football, obviously the World Cup. But what's with us and Aston Villa, especially at home, mate? It doesn't matter the personnel. When they come over here, we always seem to struggle.
Yeah, we do. Look, they were well organised. I'm not going to make any excuses for Liverpool because the facts are we should have won this game. However, look, they got a brilliant manager. This manager ain't no joke. You know what I mean? His records prove it. And the thing is, they were just more organised on the day. And I feel in this game in particular, we played the occasion. I mean, the carnival atmosphere, people leave, players that were leaving and stuff like that, and it was just. I don't know about some of these, some of the people in the chat and stuff like that. If any of you have gone to Liverpool this season to watch a game and stuff, but it's been quite flat this season, and understandably so. But I think they played the occasion, and a lot of the times it was very scrappy. It was like a Merseyside derby. It was just very, very. It just wasn't. There was ideas, but we just couldn't execute them. The final third, the balls were just the ball into the box and stuff like that. It was really, it was a very strange one. And then obviously that decision that cost us in the end, but Aston Villa, you got to give them credit, you know what I mean? Because at the same time, we didn't lose the game, but, they were 17th at one stage, you know what I mean? And, with this guy, Unai Emery. He's done them bits, and they've got players. They've got players that can hurt you as well if you're not up to it. So all in all, it was on the day. It was maybe the best result we could have had. There
Yeah.
was obviously decisions and refereeing decisions and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just strange.
Do you think we still got a chance of top four? Is it completely going in your half? On your
Well,
side, sorry.
yeah, well, everyone knows my views on that one, and I swear it's not because I want the club to do well. Obviously, we all do. Just got to be realistic, and I'm quite realistic about it. Mathematically, it's possible,
Hmm.
but it's going to be one of those miracles. You know what I mean? Those miracles. It can still happen.
Yeah.
They have to lose their games.
Yeah.
But realistically, no. We had to win all our games to stand a chance, as Jurgen
And we
Klopp said.
couldn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just unfortunately we didn't. So
To
you
me,
know,
like if you look at this game on Saturday, it just typifies our season. It was just a carbon copy of the season. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like pear-shaped stuff. Like don't know what we're doing when we got the ball. I mean, you don't. What angers me more than anything when I watch Liverpool is we just rely on either Robertson or Trent to create chances. It shouldn't be like that. The other players should contribute. It's not always about athleticism. You know what I mean? You got to have football knowledge. You got to do something like out of the ordinary for you to score a goal, and we don't even do that. It's just a carbon copy of previous games and seasons for Liverpool. The way when deep line defending team happens, we don't know how to open them up. This is why I said it's not just 4 or 5 players. We need probably 6 at most because we need players that can think outside the box. You know what I mean? We're relying on the likes of Henderson to create chances, Jones and Fabinho and players like that. They will never create chances, bro. You know what I mean? Jones has come on like in the last few games. I agree, but what more does he offer other than the odd goal here and there? I need more from this kid. I need him to create chances. Henderson, apart from the athleticism, he's not the same player anymore. Let's just be honest here. He never had nothing other than that. And I don't know why people are shocked what they see of him. It's just like I mean, it's just the athleticism side is gone, and he doesn't offer anything else. So, what do you think? Like, do we have to step away from this hard working midfielders, or do we have to mix it up next season in order for us to open up these teams that's deep line defending, Baz?
um, for starters, we need players because these players, I wouldn't say they've gone past their sell by date.
No.
Some may have, obviously, but yeah, I mean, look, we can still play this system if we have the players. If you have you know, imagine having a control pad. You know what I mean? That's just working, but batteries dying. You literally need a new batteries, and then the thing will be is
Yeah.
just as good as new. So if you do want to play that kind of system, you need to have the players to play it, the pressing and stuff like that. If you're going to play the high line, then obviously you're going to need faster defenders and stuff like that to get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are ways, you know what I mean? I don't think the system itself has been shut down. It's just that we don't have the players for it at this moment in time, and hopefully, like you said, FSG can, can bring some players in. Jurgen Klopp can bring some players in, and implement the system, because when we play it, we're brilliant with it. But at the same time, this season, the only plus about this season is literally just having Trent playing in midfield, who offers you some of that creation. But Aston Villa kept him, they had a plan, and they kept him quiet. But this is what happens, Foz. At the end of the day, if you can have variations in play during the game, yeah. But if you don't have the personnel to do it, then that becomes a problem. And next season, hopefully, again, it's all about next season and what we can bring in the summer. It can change that, because we still have it. I mean, we're on the right path, and what I mean by that is, towards of the end of last season, despite we were playing, we were in 4 competitions right to the end, we weren't that great, and it continued throughout the season. But now it was like this: it was going high, and it went low, and now
Yeah.
it's slowly level itself up and going slightly up again. We didn't lose, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
we're still hard to be, to beat. And if you look at that table, I never even thought we'd be anywhere near top 4 or 5th position. I honestly thought we'd be a top 10 team this season.
15, yeah.
Yeah,
Katie, I'll come on to that because I got obviously asked questions with that one. I got a video for that. Yes. Hi, John.
big up.
Gary, that's for you, Baz, man.
Yeah, big up, Gary.
Yeah, big up Baz from
Big up.
John as well. Redbird, sorry. Big
Red
up
Bird.
for Liam Baz. Thank you, Redbird. Thank you for everyone that's coming on. Actually, hi. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, this season is a transition season. I already said that to you guys in the past about that. It's how we come out of it next season is going to be the biggest obstacle, in my opinion. Obviously, City got what they want. I've always said that. Like, this is what they've been waiting for years. That's why they spend all that money because they want to be dominant, and they have got that dominancy already now. Thanks to Liverpool dropping out. I don't consider Arsenal a contender. I never did. If you see my previous streams, I did say it, and I was online about it. It shows at the end. You don't sell your players to your rivals who's going to compete with you and expect them to challenge, do you? Let's be honest here. Man City, what they've done this season is they transitioned as well as winning titles. So that's the scary thing. So next season, I'm not expecting them to make many more signings. They are going to be settling for the obviously the players they've got because that's the age they've got now. Maybe one or two players will pass, like go somewhere else eventually. But it's down to us. I don't see other. The league hasn't changed, Baz. The league hasn't changed, bro. It's just us. Us as a team, we've changed. We've gone from there to there in such a quick way. Man City just transitioned and they came to their own. If we put pressure on Man City this season, I don't think they'd be challenging for that many honours because not only would they be transitioning, Liverpool would be right up there with them, you know what I mean, and keep putting pressure on them at the same time. I don't think Arsenal's done enough. Like I said, you don't sell your best players to Arsenal and expect to compete with them, do you really? Let's just be honest there. So next season, what we need to do is plug those holes. It's better knowing what you need than not, as I always say. We know what we need is that midfield. The attack is fine. We've got enough attackers as it is. We've got loads of them. But I know McAllister is on his way, from what I've heard. He's already like agreed, and it's just the final details. And then it's just what's around that that's more important. Fabinho has come to form right now, but what is Fabinho's challenge for next season? You know what I mean? He needs someone that's going to challenge him for that spot. And that number 8, are we going to put Trent back in his right back position and get someone who's capable of doing that Henderson role, but has more ability, in my opinion, as well, which is passing, which is like going forward with the ball and probably taking shots from outside. Is that too much to ask for, you think, Baz, for that number 8
It's
position?
it's not too much to ask for. To be fair, you look at our midfield shot. Even before before game was ball was kicked
Mm,
this season. Lots of people can see what the problem is. You know what I mean? And basically, we just went into the season unprepared.
yeah,
On top of the injuries as well that we had, because let's be fair, we did have some injuries to important players as well.
yeah,
Diaz in particular, in my opinion, and obviously Jota. Yeah, I mean, look, we definitely need midfielders, and we definitely need, ways, to kind of like keep things fresh and, keep the opponents guessing. I mean,
yeah,
look, we just threw out putting Trent in midfield, for the few games, and you see
yeah,
what's happened. I mean,
yeah,
so we have that opportunity, what I
yeah.
mean? And just going quickly onto the this season and how Arsenal. The thing is, remember, I mean, this is not a slanging match. I'm not here to slang Arsenal fans or anything
Mm,
like that. But what I
mm,
will say is, like, you're playing with one of the teams, against one of the teams, or challenging
mm,
with loads of money, brilliant manager,
mm,
an absolute animal up front. Yeah,
yeah,
you know, it's a lesson. It's a lesson, but they're going to be one season, sensible now. You know what I mean? Experience to see what Man City are about, because a lot of these guys that they they thought, no, we can just do this, but no, you can't just do that against Man City. They don't know the pressure that Man City puts teams under,
nope.
and they've learnt. You know what I mean? And they're going to be 1 year wiser for sure, absolutely. And if
Mm,
they do spend some money, they'll probably be better next year. But
mm,
at the end of the day, we'll just have to see. Just have to see, and hopefully Liverpool can make those signings and have that variation in tactics and stuff like that. And we go again.
yeah. Alid, We were just discussing about the match against Aston Villa. What I discussed with Baz was the lack of creativity from the team. Like in the first half, as I was doing the watch along, I realised we haven't even hit the target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's more or less season in, season out. We struggle with teams that's deep line defending. What do we need next season to rectify that, bro? Like, what do we have to mix up the midfield, like with workers as well as creative players, or can we get both in one player or something like that along the line, like of
Uh,
Klopp's
yeah, no,
thinking?
big up Fozzie, big up Baz as well.
Thank
Obviously, pleasure to be back on. And yeah, of course, I think last Saturday was a perfect representation of that lack of creativity. I think you could probably associate the whole occasion and that spectacle. No obvious disrespect. Obviously, we kind of had to kind of commemorate the likes of the contributions from Firmino, Milner,
Hmm.
Cater and Ox, but I think it got a bit too sentimental. I think it was more about getting the job done first and foremost. I think that's the approach
Yeah.
that I think should have been adopted, and I felt there was a little bit too much focus for my liking on that. But look, at the end of the day, give Villa their dues. We were fortunate in an instance that Ollie Watkins missed that pen as well. So, look, we need to be better. We need to be more creative, as you mentioned there. That start where we, lacked that creative output. It's definitely something of which we need to modify going forward. I think in advance, I kind of think it's a mentality shift. I think once we get that consistency and maybe the likes of that refresh in regards to getting that one or two players, which I feel when culminated efficiently, we can kind of, get our mojo back again. And, we've seen this season instances of where Liverpool can reach that pinnacle. So for me, it's not a case of we've lost it. It's just that consistency, and I think that can be got back. That can come back if we have the right sort of mentality going forward, and that belief. I think, and hopefully the Europa kind of works in the favour that we can kind of miss the Champions League, so it gives us that additional impetus to try and get back there. So that's how I hope we approach it going forward.
Nice one, Elliot. Nice one, man. Obviously, I'm gonna step through, like going through things quicker today, just to discuss the game and what's to come next as well. So I'm gonna move on to this one, guys. So get ready for this one. Should Gakpo's sorry. Oh, what? Yeah, what? The Gakpo sending off. Was it the goal I put? Sorry, guys. Which one did I put?
It was a goal. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
goals. Is not be
Yeah,
disallowed.
yeah. Should Gakpo's goal be disallowed, guys? I'll start with you, Alid. I've seen it again. I've seen the ref watch from Dermot Gallagher this morning, and he said he understood why the referee's done that. But I don't know the rules anymore because I thought if your intention is kicking the ball and it goes to the obviously the opponents, even if he's offside, that should be onside. If you know what I mean. So I looked at it again. I saw the Aston Villa player. He did intentionally kick the ball. So so what? How does this go? Come under the disallowed. I don't understand it, Alit. It's
Nah,
weird. It's
not
weird. It's weird.
it's a bit. It's very weird, and I think it's only made even more weird by the fact we see so many inconsistent decisions being made. I've seen a perfect Twitter thread on Twitter actually of an instance where Harry Kane, Liverpool, Tottenham a few years ago, the ball was slid in behind. Dejan Lovren kind of mishit it. Kane I think was in an offside position, but we weren't brought back because Lovren deliberately meant to kick the ball. So look at the same time, you just don't know where you are with it. To be fair, I can kind of agree with the decision if consistency is applied to their decision making, but it just seems to be every week is something different that we can kind of have a go about. To be fair, I'm just like you, Fozzie. Not really clear with the rules anymore. Everyone seems to be so. It's so disconnected with the refs because of their inconsistent decisions that it just makes it a tough watch on time.
Did
So
Did you find it weird, Alit, that the referee went to the VAR? because that's the decision the VAR committee should be making. It shouldn't be the referee. Referee normally goes down there for penalty reasons, right, guys? Or am I wrong here? If
Yeah.
he's not sure about a penalty, but if it's offsides or things like that, shouldn't that be something to do with the VAR committee? That's what
Yeah, no,
I misunderstood when I saw that the other day as well.
no, definitely. I misunderstood that as well. I think you wouldn't associate the referees as the VAR having any direct input with the offside and getting the referee to go to the monitor in particular. So I was a bit confused with that as well. You're kind of either onside or you're offside, whereas the penalty is kind of speculative. So look, at the same time, I'm like you. I have not a clue really, because at the same time, we can all rant and rave about it, but
Yeah.
referees won't do anything. They won't do any. They won't change it, and they'll say, we'll take the best interest into account. But we see same time in, time out.
It's
Things like that happening.
a lot of dodgy stuff, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Baz, mate? What did you make out of that
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. To be fair, the consistency thing as well. But look, at the end of the day, it was a very strange decision. I know this. That monitor is part of VAR. Yeah, where it's penalties, whether it's offsides, they can go and do that. Obviously, that's what that monitor is there for. But yeah, it was weird. It was weird. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, yeah, since Jurgen Klopp spat, obviously we know there's been some real strange decisions that have not been given Liverpool's way and stuff like that. There is some kind of, it does need to be, questioned of recent times, the bias towards Liverpool, or not, for Liverpool and stuff like that, not giving us, the decisions. And over the weekend, that was one of them, to be fair. It was one of those decisions where, but look, the fact is, we're talking about one goal here. We should have like not smoked them, but we should have done a lot better than relying on one decision that effectively cost us those 3 points.
Yeah.
It was, in my eyes, it was definitely onside, but you could say, like you said, I would have accepted it. I'd have accepted it if it was consistent. It's not consistent, so. You've seen them given. You've seen sometimes they're offside. It depends on the day who these referees are and what their intentions are. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just a very, very, very strange decision. But yeah, I mean, for me, that goal should have stood. And but to be fair, we should have had an opportunity to, to create more and score more goals.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I know what you're saying, Baz, but I've always said I'll go by the line is of if the referee is making decisions about offsides as well, what's the use of VAR assistance? I mean, you might as well just go back to the old ways and just let the referee and the linesman do the whole thing. You know what I mean? Because everybody's confused. Everybody's confused. Even this morning, I said Dermot Gallagher, he was confused as well. When Dermot Gallagher talks about Liverpool, he's always, against us. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I see it a different way. Maybe it's just me. He said the Haaland tackle when he put his foot up wasn't the same as Jota's one because Jota was looking at the player. I don't know. He makes things like that up. I don't know. I thought Jota wasn't looking at the player, and then he hit him by accident afterwards. But yeah, these decisions like against Liverpool recently, guys. It's not recently. It's always been like that. Let's just be honest there. It's because of like what we do, obviously as a manager, as fans, and it's costing us unfortunately on the pitch as well. And it's just become a norm now, and it's really frustrating because it's costing us games that we need to win. You know what I mean? We needed to win that game the other day by any means necessary, and we couldn't even do that. And it's frustrating watching it from the sideline. But you're right, Baz. We should have won the game by any means necessary. It don't have to be decisions like that to decide our games. It should be the players' talents to decide games as well. Like we didn't take a shot, like I said, in the first half, and the second half we created a few opportunities. We put all of our attackers on, and we still struggled to create chances. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be like that.
Let's not get it twisted, though, Fozzie. Sorry to interrupt you, right? But we had some real harsh decisions against us. Like Ming shouldn't even been on the pitch after that assault.
I'm going to talk about that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but personally, you know what I mean? There was a lot of decisions, and the only thing you can do is just play your game. get some goals in put some goals in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if they get ruled out for whatever reason, yeah, it could be a judge of that. But the fact is, we didn't put many, we weren't clinical enough up top. And obviously, with the decisions that have been going on in this, sometimes you got to fight the referee as well on top of the opposition, you know what I mean, to get a result.
100%, bro. 100%. So that's what we're gonna move on next, anyway, man. About the Mings, man. Like, how's that not happen? How's that not happen? You all see his face, you all see his leg, you see how high it was, and you saw the mark on Finger's chest. So how isn't that offside, Baz? Please explain that to me, because I'm confused, mate. I'm really, really confused why referees, even when the player takes off his shirt and he's showing him the mark, like it's a tire mark. That's what it was. It's like a car running over you, right on his above his chest. Like, how isn't that a sending off? But like, especially with the technology you have. You know what I mean? We got this technology in to assist the referees' mistakes, but it seems like it's got even worse. You know what I mean? They can't make the simple decisions.
Well, this is the thing. They spent all that time ruling that goal off through the technicalities of it, and this was as clear as day. This was like, Nigel de Jong.
Yeah, I remember.
It just looks just like that. It was bruv, it's endangering a player. You know what I mean? It's endangering a player. And yeah, people may go and say, well, with the thing with Skip and I can't remember who was it. The Tottenham game, Jota.
Yeah.
Yeah, the facts are, right? I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans and real Liverpool fans would probably admit that could have been or should have been a red card. But then at the same time, they'd argue the challenge beforehand. Okay, that could have been a red card as well. Absolutely. But the fact is, on this day, it just seemed like we weren't going to get decisions that day. We weren't going to get decisions. So, yeah, I mean, that should have been a red card. But, this is one of the examples of, people against Liverpool, the referees and stuff like that. And it was certainly that, because what this guy did potentially, obviously, he cost us the game because... obviously with the decisions, is obviously Tyrone Mings was probably their better player in that game for me, in my opinion, and he shouldn't have been on the pitch. So yeah, I mean, I simply just can't understand it, But again, it goes with what Alid said with the consistencies. You got to be consistent, man. If you're not consistent about it, no one's going to know what is going to happen these days. And I get it's football, I mean, it brings that back. Back in the day before VAR and stuff like that, it does bring that, that thing where we can talk about it. Because if it's too AR or too artificial, AI even, then what happens is, I mean, we're just literally robots with it. The fact that these things have happened, we're able to discuss it and stuff. But when it works against us, it's a problem. But yeah, definitely that was a red card for me. He's very lucky to stay on the pitch. Very, very lucky.
What about you, Elliot? What do you think, man? Because I know we're talking about dodgy decisions now, but we've got no choice, mate. I mean, this is costing us games, and this is one of the games we're supposed to win.
No, 100%. It's definitely a game with major significance, even if you look from a Villa perspective as well, going for that European pursuit as well, and it's detrimental. It has huge ramifications, decisions like that, because they can act as turning points, and that was definitely a turning point moment. I just don't understand, right, where the referee doesn't have a little bit of
common sense.
Common sense or emotional knowledge to think, right, have I missed something here? Because when Cody Gakpo lifts up his shirt and there's that mark on it where he's literally just... surely the referee should be thinking, like, come on, man, let's have a little check of this, because have I missed something here? But look, to be fair, what I was so frustrated and annoyed about was the fact that it was clear as day what part of that decision doesn't endanger the safety of Cody Gakpo, and especially when Mings lifts his foot, the ball goes past him, and he kind of lifts his foot even further and kind of just follows into the challenge. It's just complete petulance, and I just don't know what the referee's seen there to represent that's a fair act on a football field. So look, I'm as bemused as anybody, but the same time, turning points, especially in a game of which we should have been winning. So I know obviously there's opportunities not to, for us to be a lot better, but you can't hide away from the fact there was a lot of instances in that game which went against us, and we kind of have to lick our wounds after the game there. So very disappointing from the referee's perspective there.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Listen, guys, I'm realist. I'm not that type of fan. Like Baz knew me from the Facebook days. I don't beat around the bush. I'll tell you the truth. We don't deserve Champions League football this season, but the last few games, the way we performed, it gives you that little bit of thinking. Maybe we're not as bad as what we was in the beginning of the season, when we was all thinking like we need overhaul changes in the team and all that stuff. So. Where we'll finish the season is where we deserve to finish. Let's just be honest here. And if we finish outside the top four and in the Europa League, that means we just have to find a way to compete in that and challenge for the league as well next season. So it's not be or end all. Just find the right players for next season, and then we could hopefully find the right solutions, if you know what I mean. I'm always going to be behind Klopp. I think he learned a lot of stuff this season. Being nice finishes last. If you're nice, you're not going to finish first. You know what I mean? If you look at Pep Guardiola, he's a ruthless manager. If you look at Alex Ferguson, ruthless manager. Bob Paisley, ruthless. Shankly, ruthless. Kenny Dalglish these days, ruthless. Mourinho, ruthless. All the best managers in the world are ruthless. Klopp has it in a kind of way, but I think he's learned a lot this season. Being sentimental ain't the way of success. You have to find the right formula, the right formation, the right players to keep competing season in and season out, which means you have to keep chopping and changing every season. You can't keep the same players that's done you good in the past. You got to move on from that sometimes and bring the younger players that's going to overtake them and then give you that more success in the future as well. Yeah, that's what I think. And like I said, this season we're gonna finish where we deserve to finish. Wasn't fantastic. We was 10th for majority of the season. It's just the last few games when we finally the World Cup. We've got a new formation we could play. It's just bit too late for me, but yeah, anything can happen at the end of the season. Guys, we'll go on the player ratings and then we're going to go on Man City to end it. I don't know what to do about the player ratings because not many players actually done well in this game. I don't want to keep going on, the actual stream. We've got a lot of stuff to do in the near future as well. We've got another Let's Talk LFC episode coming very, very soon. So we'll start with Alisson. What did you guys think of him in the game? Was he any good, Baz? How was he? What do you think of him in the game?
I thought he was okay. He's probably one of the better players. He was playing more of a sweeper, if anything. He was more playing out of his box than anything, and he did all right. His presence were, he had his, typical Ali's presence and stuff like that. To be fair. Look, I think he psyched out the penalty as well. Ollie Watkins penalty. I thought he done well. Personally, I'll give him a 7. I think I'll give him a 7 based on that.
Big up, bro. What about you, Alid, mate? What do you think of Alisson?
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement with Baz. I think in particular when you isolate Alisson's performance, I didn't think he had an awful lot to do. Obviously, there's that argument. Well, he probably should have saved that Ramsey one, but I think he was definitely integral to forcing Watkins to put it wide. So look, I think Alisson didn't have a great deal to do, but whatever coming his way, he controlled it very well, I thought. So I'd say 7.
I'll keep with you. What did you think of Robbo? Elliot, was he any good?
But he was getting frustrated a few times down that one side. Again, a bit like Aston, I don't really think there was too much to shout about in regards to Robertson. Do you know what, maybe I'll probably go 6, I'll probably go 6. Don't think there's anything too significant for his representation of his performance, so 6.
Up, bro. What about you, Baz?
Excuse me. I'm gonna give him a 5. And the reason why I'm going to give him a 5, I mean, how I normally do things is 10 is excellent, 0 is absolutely rubbish, 5 is in the middle. It's just average.
Yeah.
I think, look, defensively, he was solid. When I mean solid, I mean like, you know what I mean? He wasn't like...
Doing his job.
Yeah, it wasn't really, really bad.
Mhm.
But I think his issue was he struggled. He really struggled. And then Diaz, that affected him a lot because the relationship at the, between them wasn't that great in this game. You know what I mean? I think he got frantic. He got very frantic towards the end. He was just like, it was just more frustrating for him. And obviously playing in this system, the system, remember, he has to be more disciplined now. So you don't see a lot of typical, Robbo going, forward. Yeah, he's got to be more balanced now and disciplined. And he did that well. He did that well, to be fair. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give him a 5. I think it was just an average one for him. He was frustrated, and you know what I mean, it showed.
Yeah, I agree with you, Baz. I agree with you. Even Ali, I agree with you. So the thing with Robertson is, I don't think Tsimikas is strong enough. Either Tsimikas is not strong enough, or he doesn't play a lot. Maybe his confidence has been shattered because he doesn't play a lot. I don't know, but he needs competition for that left back position. When you're too comfortable in a position, you're not going to perform in in the way you normally perform on a regular basis. So that's what's happening to Robertson at the moment. He's on and off. You know what I mean? You need your player to be consistent, especially when you're fighting for titles. And next season, I'm hoping it's either a left back or a centre back that can play both positions to challenge him on that position as well. So I'll give him a 5, 100%. I'm not gonna go beyond that. I've seen worse players in this game than actually him as well. So, Baz, what do you think of Van Dijk?
Do you know, strangely enough, I'm actually going to give him. He was my man of the match. To be fair,
I thought he played good.
I thought he did all right. He did well. I don't think he was. It was very difficult between Alisson and him, but you know what? I'm going to give him a 7.5. He just edges it for me in terms of man of the match. He's, over the last few weeks, he's been not his brilliant self, because he does miss a lot of chances, further on, when he gets into the box and stuff. It's been one of those funny ones. But 7.5, I think. He's been better in recent weeks, and he does his job, and he's engaging more. And he's taking responsibility. You know what I mean? When you look at what's going on over there, it's more Trent going forward, Ibu covering him, and he's got obviously Robbo there that is being disciplined. And the thing is with Van Dijk, he's he showed his qualities, showed his leadership qualities again over the weekend. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I think he edges it for me as man of the match.
What about you, Elliot?
Yeah, I agree. I think Van Dijk was very good on Saturday. I think as well. I think what Watkins was trying to target that battle with Konate, and those channel balls in behind Konate meant Van Dijk had to come across a few times, and I felt he dealt with them relatively well. I think he had quite a bit to do, and I think it's important for Van Dijk. I think to get that confidence back. I think in particular, it's been a bit of a tricky season for him. So I was kind of happy to a certain extent he could try and get a good performance in, despite obviously the frailties on that side with Konate on Saturday. So look, I'm happy. I'd say I'm agreeing to 7.5. I don't really have anything to contrast that really. So
big up, bro. Big up. I agree with you guys as well. I don't think he was the best player, but I think he was one of them. What I liked about Van Dijk in this game, he each time players went through, he matched them for pace. That's the old Van Dijk that we know. And that's what I liked about this game. And don't forget, like Watkins and players like that, they are quick, and he kept up for pace, man. So I agree with you. 7.5. Ant says, "Afternoon, lads. Hope okay. Yes, hope we're okay. Thank you very much, mate." Ant says, "Same fella. Klopp shouted at definitely being briefed. You know, with Klopp, guys, you know when he's not on the sideline, does it show like Liverpool are missing something, Baz? Because I think that, this is the second time it happened. I think it was Chelsea game, and it wasn't. It was just similar to this as draw, really.
Yeah, you definitely miss. Listen, Jurgen Klopp is not a manager that's just going to sit down, you know what I mean, and just do the Steve McLaren thing, just under our umbrella kind of thing. It's just literally he's there to rollick you when you need it, and it was definitely we did miss him. We definitely did miss him in the touchline. Yeah, I mean, a couple of players I believed could have had
A bollocking,
a bollocking from him there and then, you know what I mean, during the game. But yeah, we did miss him for sure.
Yeah, 100%. John says that was a red. 100%, man. We disagree with you. Ian says, "Hi guys, I'm a Darlington FC fan. We are made. Oh damn, we were made bankrupt in 2011. Sorry, reformed in 2012. Demoted 4 leagues. We are currently a part-time fan-owned National League North club. We have had 3 promotions. Congratulations, man. But
Absolutely.
yeah, man. Listen, we're football fans first of all, innit? And anyone who's like had the issues you had and coming back from it, come on, we'll support you no matter what, man. Big up here,
Absolutely.
man.
Big up Ian, man.
Big up, man. Yeah. So the next one is Konate. Baz, what do you think of Konate, man?
Bro, I mean, I don't think. All right, listen. He gave away the penalty. That's what people are going to remember of this game. He gave away the penalty. But, listen, for me, he's been Liverpool's best defender this season, without a doubt. You know what I mean? Van Dijk's had his off forms, a couple of injuries and stuff like that. Ibu, this is his first season where he's getting consistent runs of game, of opportunities. Before, it's always been Matip. You know what I mean? Matip, him and Van Dijk.
Yeah.
He's getting his opportunity to cement his there, and with Trent's role, going forward and stuff like that, he's got to do a lot more.
Yeah.
But I always say when people try to target him, it's funny because they're targeting the faster defender, in my opinion, and possibly the more physical one. Yes, he may have a mistake in him, but he's learning his game. You know what I mean? I said, it's his first consistent where he's just starting on a regular. But even he has an injury in him as well. Do you know what I mean? Like niggles and stuff like that. But I think he was okay in this game. Besides that, he had his clumsy moments. He definitely had his clumsy moments. Yeah. But there were some good moments where he would prevent stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. He didn't shy away from it all. It was clumsy. You know what I mean? You're gonna go in like that. You're gonna give away a penalty,
especially in the box as well, isn't it, man? But what do you give him, mate? What do you give him out of 10?
I'm gonna give him a 6.
6.
I think he was above average.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was gonna give him a 6.5 in that, but the penalty, I've taxed him on that one, unfortunately. But I still think 6 is better than certain others anyway.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Alid? What do you think of Konate's performance, and what ratings you want to give him? Can you hear me? I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah. No, 100% agree. Konate, obviously, he's had a very good season. He can afford to have performances under par.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a bit of a tricky day for him Saturday, don't get me wrong. But I think he's still got a lot to learn. But he's had a very, very good season, and I think, but just by isolating this game, you could probably put him about a 6.5, I'd say.
Okay.
Because he still did some good things in the game, but he obviously was a little bit apprehensive in moments, and you can't really afford to drop that percent at this level. So, look, at the end of the day, he's got a lot to learn, but I'm sure he'll be fine. So 6.5, I'd probably go.
Yeah, I agree with you guys as well. With Konate, I can listen. I watched football long enough to understand players, if you know what I mean, guys. I worked in it, I played in it. I can see what he's all about, Konate. And yeah, Alid, it's all good, bro. It's all good, bro. Yeah. The thing with Konate with me is he's good at running. He's good at tackling. He could do a lot of things, but he will need in the future someone similar to Van Dijk alongside him. I've always said that someone that is finesse, someone who could calm things down. You know what I mean? And help him out in certain circumstances. Because with Konate, although he's young, he can improve, but we're asking for a lot from him, if you know what I mean, guys. And that's why I always bring in someone like Van Dijk in the future to come and partner him. And if you disagree with me, is that down to you guys? But I think he needs someone like that in the future as well because he will be prone to mistakes, 100%, guys, 100%. And he's going to continue not to the extent of what he's doing now, but now and again it will happen. We're not going to get someone like Van Dijk that's mistakes free for the rest of Konate's career, but that's what worries me about him. I always want someone there to guide him, who's always going to look out for him, who could do the passing and have finesse at the same time as well. You probably disagree with me, Baz, but I think that's what he needs in the future as well. What do you think, Baz, in
No, I
regards
don't.
to that?
I don't actually disagree with you. I think you do need a calm head as well because Van Dijk, not Van Dijk. Ibu is a brilliant defender. He's got the physicality and stuff like that. Maybe he can grow into a calmer defender. But Van Dijk, listen, you do always need a Van Dijk. Any team would want a Van Dijk because he's as calm as you like in it. With his song and stuff like that. It's just how he is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can learn a lot from him, but Van Dijk's. They come once in a blue moon.
In a blue
That's
moon,
the
man.
issue. So when this guy leaves or retires or whatever, it's going to be very hard to find someone like Van Dijk. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough. But if anyone can, Ibu's definitely got prospects. He just needs to stay away from injuries, just establish himself. And you know what? The more you play, the more practice you get, the better you're going to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So hopefully.
Yeah, we'll move on to Trent. What do you think, Alid? I know you got to shoot in a minute, so give us your final final one. What do you think of Trent's
Yeah,
game?
for me, Trent was below par in his usual self,
Yeah,
the self that we've seen over the last few weeks in particular. But I think some of his, his creativity, when it's off, it kind of represents that one-dimensional sort of pursuit
yeah,
going forward. We look a little bit, one-dimensional, especially when he's under par. I think that's an area which we've got to modify as well. So we
yeah,
have several methods of attack, sort of thing.
yeah,
Just not so much resorting to Trent. But at the same time, it just shows how well he's been performing of recent and how, when he's on form,
yeah.
the kind of results that we can materialise off that. But within this performance, I thought it was slightly under par. I'd probably go for 5 out of 10 for Trent. I just think it was a little bit, rushed. I seen him at the end of the game as well. He chucked it. He put up a ball,
Yeah.
and he put his arms out as if to say, like, a bit frustrated that no one could really get onto that. But I thought it was a poor ball. It was one that I just thought summed up his game pretty much. So yeah, I'd probably have to go 5.
Big up, Alid. I know you got to go, bro. So we'll speak soon here, brother. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Honestly,
speak soon.
thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fozzie,
Please
and
go and
big up to
subscribe to
yourself,
him.
Baz.
I'll give your
Big up,
details to
man.
everyone. No worries. Big up, brother. Big up,
Big
brother.
up, man.
So what do you think of him, bro? Trent.
Trent, I think.
Yeah,
Look, I'm going to give him a 4.5 today.
yeah, me
The
too.
reason why I'm going to give him a 4.5 is because, look, he was partly to blame in that goal, that they had scored.
Yeah,
I think he did switch off at the back post. It just didn't work out for him.
yeah,
On Saturday. I think they marshalled him very well. He was pretty much out the game in terms of what he offers us.
yeah,
His passing was just, wasn't typical Trent
yeah,
passing, you know what I mean? And everything else was just slightly overhit on the final third. He didn't have the best of games, but I think he was just below average. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'll give him a 5. I think he was just average.
yeah. I gotta be real. I gotta be real. Like I didn't think he was all that. I thought for Trent's performances, like recently, he's below power. And what angered me was him getting frustrated. Like Ali said, he got frustrated a couple of times because he couldn't get past the
Yeah,
player. Then he started kicking the ball away.
yeah,
And
yeah,
don't act like a hard man if you're not a hard man, bro. Just play your game. Try create chances for the team. You know what I mean? This is what you're there for now. We simplified your game into just creating. We don't need to defend it anymore. Just do the creative side, bro. That's all we needed to do. Yes, I agree with you. I'll give him a 5. Ian says maybe VAR is over complicating football to many rules and changes. Yeah. Listen, I'm more of an old school. You know what I mean? They haven't improved, in my opinion. I think they just got worse. Because how can you have a technology in your hands and you're making simple mistakes season in and season out? It's not like it's new, is it? This has been happening for the last 3 years, and they're still
mm,
making mistakes, and it's
mm.
too much. It's too much. Big up Hannah. Simicast looks very upset at the end of the game. He hope he stays. Hannah's gonna be part of this channel, so please, follow her on Twitter. She's got her own Twitter account as well. If you want to reach out to her. Yeah, I felt bad for Simicast. He was crying at the end of the game. I don't know if it's to do with Firmino. Maybe I don't know. But maybe, like Hannah says, maybe he is leaving at the end of the season and he's looking for new opportunities elsewhere as well. So we'll have to wait and see with him. So we move on to Fabinho. I thought Fabinho has been fantastic but recently. I don't know what he's eaten. I don't know if he's faced all the criticism we gave him. You know what I mean? Has he been looking through YouTube or something? How is he performing like this all of a sudden, bro? Like, it's like he's got a new lease of life.
Yeah, look, he's been doing well of late. And yeah, maybe he is watching all the Liverpool content. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's having his Weetabix in the morning and he's having his cornflakes and stuff. I don't know, but no, he's been doing a lot better, definitely. However, I'm gonna bring him back down to earth. I think I'm gonna give him a 6 or 6.5. I could be entertained to 6.5 if you want to go
Yeah.
there. And the reason being is
Yeah.
the thing is, all right, he was definitely a noticeable presence in there in midfield. There was tackles he was making. It was 50-50s, to be fair. He was winning some, he was losing some. But he's got that in him again. He's got that fight in him again. You know what I mean? Which is brilliant. I think a lot of the decisions over the weekend, based on just the game, how it was officiated, affected him as well in some of the tackles and stuff, because some were really harsh. So you know what? I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he was decent.
No worries, bro. Jones, I'm not gonna. I don't even know if I could give him a number personally, but I'll let you decide, bro.
Yeah,
He frustrated me.
To be honest with you, I think him and the other one,
Elliot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 4. I'm gonna give him a 4. He wasn't
Can't be too harsh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not discuss him, because there's people out there that love him and they think we're against him and all that stuff. But it's not. It's not. Like, he's been here long enough. He's 22 now. He should be like better than what he is now. I'm sorry, like, you could still score 2 goals against Leicester, but where's the progression? Like, improve, do more in the game, do something.
He was one. Sorry, Fozzie. He was one of them that I said, he needed. Jurgen Klopp needed to be on that touchline to coach Curtis Jones and maybe Robbo, and even like Diaz on that side as well. To be fair, that's left
hand side
needed like constant, like not telling off, but constant, like nagging because certain things. I mean, he didn't keep the ball well and didn't do a lot in this game. But you know what? He could potentially be tired because he doesn't consistently have these games. It's a big difference between training and playing. On match day, he's just literally started. This is his best. This is his best run in terms of starting in a senior team. So again, not being too harsh on him, but he was below average.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like I said, if he's stopping transfers in the summer, I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed. I gotta be real. Very average performance by LFC in my opinion. Villa should have had should have played 10 men though. Yeah, 100%. We're not
Absolutely,
disagreeing. Yeah,
Lewis.
Lewis, 100%. Big up all anyways. Hope for top four still alive. Never gonna happen. Alisson 7. Ali 7 by Redbird. Robo 6. Robertson 6, BVD 8, BVD 8. I don't want to keep going through. There's a lot of comments for you, Mr. Baz. Whenever you're on, man, I need to bring you more often.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Henderson, bro. How do we discuss this guy? I've been the Henderson Defence League since he arrived at Liverpool Football Club.
Mm,
I've come to the realization it's time he could play that Milner role next season, on and off the team, in and out of the team. Probably help out Fabinho in his position now and again. He's just not that player anymore, bro. I mean, like a captain should be influencing the team, shouting at the team when they're not doing well. Players should not be telling you back like f off and things like that to you. You know what I mean? If you're the captain, and that's what's happening to him at the moment, bro. Like the respect is gone, and on the pitch performances ain't the same level as before because his athleticism ain't there anymore, bro. So what do you think of him, bro?
yeah, look, I love Hendo. I do love Hendo, but yeah, we've got to accept it. You know, um, look, he was our captain, or still is our captain, but you know, he definitely is gonna need to play that Milner role. You know, come on, he's important in terms of presence. Yeah, he definitely, you know, you could tell he's one of those players that he needs a couple of games resting before he comes and maybe even has
I
a
said
decent
that
game.
last season.
Yeah,
I said that.
absolutely. And
What I said was, Bas, you just hit the nail on the head, brother. What I said was, if you look at Henderson's career, majority of his career he got injured for long term, and these are the last 2 seasons he's never been injured a lot. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That
yeah,
when he used to get injured, that used to give him rest for the rest of the season, the remaining games of the season. Now
yeah,
he's been fit for the past 2 seasons, and you can see he's not the same player anymore. You know, because like I said, the athleticism helps him, and the rest
yeah,
helps him as well. Probably that's why you could be right. You could be right, but I have been saying that in the last couple of seasons. But
yeah.
I've come to the realization that it's Milner's position now or nothing for me.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't. For me, he doesn't start or finish games anymore.
Yeah,
As in, like this is the new role that he needs
yeah,
to take
yeah,
in. Um, yeah, he's just his performances now are below what
yeah.
Liverpool expectations. To be fair, and yeah, in terms of his rating, I'm
Mm.
gonna give him a 4.
Yeah, same here, bro. We move on to Luis Diaz. What do you think of him, bro?
Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz looked really rusty. Yes, again on Saturday. The thing is his match fitness and stuff like that. It's he's been injured. He's been injured for a long time. You know what I mean? He's come on. He looked our brightest spark, though. To be fair, anything that
Yeah,
was going to happen was going to come through Diaz.
yeah,
But it's just that his touches and it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there again. He means well. He means well, and he did. His endeavors and
yeah,
he's the way he works hard for the team.
yeah,
It was all there. There's no
yeah,
doubt about it. But in terms of creativity, he couldn't do much. He couldn't do much on Saturday. Again, I just put it down to rustiness and
yeah.
time being out, and rhythm and all that kind of stuff there. Um, yeah, to be fair, I'm going to give him an average score.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to give him a 5 to 5.5.
For trying
Um,
at least, yeah, he was trying. I got to give him
he
that.
was trying, absolutely. That's why I said, I
Mm.
think if anything that was going to happen, it was going to come from something that
Him.
he does.
Yeah, the thing with Diaz at the moment, people, he's come back. He's come back from a long-term injury, as everybody's aware. He had an operation as well. Um, Things like this take time for some players to come back to what they were before. You can see he's still got the pace. When I see him like running past players, I'm happy with that. The next steps is his final decisions where he's going to go with the ball, where he's going to pass the ball and things like that, and when he's going to take shots, from outside the box, inside the box, and all that stuff. So that's going to come in time for him anyway. He's going to be our left winger for the long term. Obviously, he's the Mane replacement. But yeah, I agree with Baz. 5 is fair enough for him. He tried. That's the most important thing. I mean, most importantly about a player, what we ask for is give it that 100% on the pitch, and he has been giving that throughout the game as well. So yeah, a 5 is a fair result for him. So yeah, I don't know if you agree with me as well, Baz. I think he needs to go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like he's a bit too thin, for the Premier League liking. I know he's bulked up a little bit, but I think he needs more. I think he needs more in his body, right? So he doesn't get pushed over too easily, because that's what I saw in the last couple of games, players pushing him too easily. Gakpo, what do you think of him, bro?
Again, another average one. I'll give him a
He's a goal,
5.
scored a goal.
Yeah, and he also got a souvenir from Tyrone Mings as well on his upper torso. Yeah, look, that Gakpo is a lovely player to watch, man. He gives, when I look at him, he just gives me that. There's that elegance. There's that elegance of him. He's good on his feet.
Yeah.
He's got strength. He's got a shot on him. He's got everything, to be fair. He's, again, I think he's just adapting. I think he's just adapting to that role. You know what I mean? That number 9 role. And eventually, I think that's where they'll eventually keep playing him. However, he needs to be improved. He definitely needs to improve a little bit more. But that's going to come in time. That's going to come in time. I'm going to give him a 5, because the thing is that you just look at how Aston Villa defended. They defended well, to be fair. There's no two ways about it. They didn't give away a lot. Yeah. So I think an average 5 is probably fair for Gakpo, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lewis says Curtis doesn't do it for me. So sorry, lads. Yeah, listen, everybody has their own opinions. I mean, never give up. We'll see. Yeah. Hendo, thanks, but you ain't it. No more 5. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Hannah says I would say Hendo should go at the end of the season. Lost his legs a bit, and he's obviously staying. He signed a long-term contract, innit? I'd say 1 more season should be max, but he's been an amazing servant of the club. Yeah, we can't disagree with that. Like what upsets me about Liverpool fans, when you're arguing about players, be consistent. I mean, don't start having a go at them when they're tailing off. Don't forget how good they were last season. This was always going to come in a player's career when they're going to be tailing off. So don't start attacking them personally and things like that. And when you were supporting them last season, if you know what I mean, be consistent. If you don't think that player is good enough, be consistent. You know what I mean? Don't start saying, I knew all along this player wasn't good enough and all that stuff. No, you were supporting him last season when he was in the quad. Come on. I mean, be consistent with your arguments. That's why people get upset. Hannah says facts. Yeah. Facts. Oh, sorry. Redbird says Hannah facts. Yeah. We're gonna move on to Salah. He created a goal, but some of the passes yesterday, bro. I might as well just push him out the pitch and let me pass the ball. You know what I mean? I love Salah. Don't listen. People think like I hate Salah or anything. I've got this agenda. Like you've said, Baz, before, and I've said this to you. I remember years ago when I used to be in that group. First and foremost, I'm a Liverpool fan. Then I'll have my debates with people about individual players. I'll call it how it is. That's how I've always been. You know me, Baz. I used to have arguments with people when I just say the truth. Salah, I don't think he's been all that this season, although his goal record shows and his assists shows he's done a lot. But I was expecting more from him this season. I don't know what you think, mate.
You always do with anyone that scores goals. You always think they can score more and more and more. Obviously, there's been like system changes and all sorts of stuff happening. Where he was restricted or he played up to a certain point, then he would play a bit further. It's a very it's very difficult because then people will talk about his contract as well. You know, the big wages he's on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But look, he's brought out numbers, and could he improve? Yeah, definitely he could improve. Everyone can improve, to be fair.
But what do you think him as an individual though, Baz? Like, I keep telling people, but they don't listen. They don't listen. Like, he's not an individual player. He needs a team around him to become the player that he is. That's what I always say. He's not a Gerrard. He's not a Messi or someone like, the ones who do things out of the own when you need it the most. He's not that type of player. He needs the team around him to give him the ammunition to get the important goals and things like that. That's what I've always said. I don't know if you disagree or agree.
No, I hear what you're saying. I agree to an extent. The thing with Salah is his what's the best way to describe him? His numbers are consistent, but he's a numbers guy. And I don't know if I would say.
Did we buy him for that though? That's what I'm asking you. Like, originally we didn't, did we? We bought him to score goals.
We bought him to put goals, to score goals and to assist and to do what what your forwards should be doing in that system that they had with with Firmino and Mane, and he did that perfectly well. The one thing that I would say with Salah sometimes is well, a few years ago anyway, and even to some point, he does miss some slitters. You know what I mean? The amount of shots that he does
and
miss,
the decisions he makes sometimes as well, Baz. Like, he passes to a guy who's free at the far post, he takes a shot, tries to get top corner. You don't do things like that, bro. Come on.
There is that with him. But you know what? The thing with Salah, right? I mean, I can't really criticize too much. I can, obviously, like I said, there's definitely room for improvement, for sure. It's not his best season. He would admit that himself. But the thing is, he's still smashing records. He's still smashing records consistently. So, I mean, if my one thing with Salah, and in this game is an example of when it goes bad. He assisted. He did assist the goal again. It sounds like I'm contradicting myself because he did assist, so he did obviously have goal contribution. But everything else was just one of those moments where either he was well marshalled or they played really well. But with Salah, you expect that.
How do you take this one though, bro? Like, when he can't get past the play for about 70, 80 minutes, when does he give up? Just pass the ball and run. You know what I mean? Like, he keeps trying to take on the same player again and again, but he just can't get that success. Pass the ball and run, bro.
Yeah, no, for real. But sometimes when you're just built a certain way and you're just going to consistently do that, I mean, we bang our heads, over the season saying like, Klopp, you can't play the same system if you don't have anyone to press. You know what I mean? Exactly. But you're consistent and arrogant with it. You know what I mean? Salah wouldn't say he's arrogant, but what I'd say with Salah is that he believes in his own ability, and you know what I mean. He's got strong mentality, but. It does frustrate you. He can frustrate you. That's the key. The thing is, he can frustrate you. But I'm gonna give him a 5, just a 5 for that. He did assist Firmino's.
Who's your man of the match, by the way?
I personally gave it to Van Dijk. I thought he was just that better quality in terms of everyone on the field. However, I think on Ensman's stream I gave Bobby Firmino a 10, but that's just being like
the love for the guy. Yeah. Let me change him up and put him in here, man. I mean, we need Bobby in here.
Something. I think everyone knows that. Listen, he wasn't the man of the match, but he was a man of the hour. To be fair, he scored the goal. It was his last day. We're gonna miss the hell out of this guy, but you know what? I'm gonna give my man of the match to him again. I'll do the same thing. Everyone knows that I said Van Dijk, but you know what? If Firmino's there, I'm going to give him the 10. Just 10, based on... Yeah, I'm going to give him the 10.
Me too. I'm not... Listen, one of my favourite players since Mane. Mane, like, I love Barnes growing up. That's my player. But Firmino, his attitude, he's the way he is as a human being, never gave us a problem, bro. Never said, in his prime, never said, I need more money. I need to go to Barcelona. I need to go to Real Madrid. Never said things like that. People need to wake up to things like this, man. This is why people love him. Always loves. You know what made me proud of him more than anything? Even when he comes off the bench, he's smiling. You know what I mean? That white teeth. You know what I mean? Just turn off the lights, man. He will give you the light on the pitch. You know what I mean? That's how he's smiling all the time.
You can see that smile from space, bruv. This
I'm gonna miss him, man. I'm gonna miss him. We're gonna do a different show on that. Don't worry about that, bro. We've got a lot to discuss in there. Let's talk LFC show. We're gonna bring the team back again and
Mm.
discuss it. But Firmino, man, I never cried for Gerrard. Never cried for Gerrard when he left. I love Gerrard. He done everything. He's a Scouse or whatever it is. But this one, every single time I see him like on the screen, I'm crying, man. I don't know why. It just doesn't. What has he done for me? For me, like to cry like that? It's crazy. It's
It's his
crazy.
infectiousness, you know what I mean? Like, listen, he's a different kind of baller, yeah. He's got the tricks, he's got the, he's got the looks, he's got the calmness, he's got the heart, he's got everything. He's just
Everything,
he's
bro.
just, he's just a general nice guy,
Nice
you know
guy.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That affects you in the right ways, you know what I mean? The sources that he does, the goals that he scored, and like you said, you know what I
Sacrifice his
mean?
own games. Yeah.
Yeah,
Carry on.
and
Carry on.
yeah, and he never made any noise, like you said, rightly so. And his peak and stuff. He could have gone to places like Madrid, Barcelona, and stuff like that.
Exactly.
He just consistently, he loved Liverpool, and Liverpool loved him. So you know what I mean. Just our number 9, man.
Yeah,
I,
there's
I
gonna be a documentary on YouTube, I think, Liverpool channel. So go and check it out about him. His mum is in it. I think his dad and all them lot are gonna be in it.
yeah,
You're gonna hear them singing about, Bobby Firmino and all that stuff. His mum was singing
yeah,
while she's cooking. Yeah,
yeah. So I saw that earlier.
man, I'm gonna miss him, bro. Like, listen, at the end of the day, football is a cycle, isn't it, bro? Players come and go. We've seen great players, we've seen bad players, we've seen everything in our lifetime. It's just that next step we've got to take, bro. It's just that next step we've got to take. We've got to see where we. This chapter is closed. New chapter begins. We've got to change the way we play in order for us to compete with the likes of City as well. So I'm gonna come to City next, people. The man of the match is Roberto Firmino. We call him Bobby at Liverpool. Let me
Sorry,
just read Hannah's.
pause it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do actually have to go.
No worries, bro. No worries.
But yeah, I'm gonna leave now. But I'll message you later.
100%, bro. You're always welcome here. You know that. Thanks for
I
coming on,
appreciate
bro.
it.
Anyway, thank
No,
you.
I
I appreciate
appreciate it,
that,
man.
bro.
Sorry I couldn't stay on. It's just that
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's over an hour, bro. It's all good. It's all good. You take care, brother. Yeah. You
All right,
take
I'll
care.
see you later. Big
Take
up
care, brother.
everyone in the chat. Make sure you're smashing the like and
Listen to
commenting
the
on
guy.
stuff.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yes, people. So you got me to yourselves. Yeah. So Bobby Firmino is the man of the match, as everybody can see. I'm happy with that. I'm not complaining about that at all. He deserves it. He left us with a smile like as wide as the River Mersey. I'm not here to say anything else about him because he's just put a smile to our face, this guy, man, and I will never forget that. We'll have a show about him. We're going to talk about him with a panel, and we discuss the players that left as well. So Hannah says it's sad he peaked in that season. We won the league, but not quite up for the not quite up to the standards we need. I'm excited to see new midfielders to come in. McAllister being one. Yeah, apparently that's happening right now. So at the end of the season, we might hear of McAllister as well. So be ready for that. I'm gonna hopefully bring a stream about that as well. So from what I've heard, is in the final stages of that transfer as well. Yeah. So as you can see, people, we put Bobby Firmino as the man of the match. Let me just discuss one thing before I leave. Obviously, it's been over an hour. Thank you to Alid and Baz. Please go and subscribe to them. Let me put their details up here. All the channels that I know are on here, so please go and subscribe to them. These are the greatest channels that I know. They're nice people. UF Talk will be back next season. I'm going to bring some more panels on that one as well. We're going to discuss every football. It doesn't have to be just Premier League, any kind of football as well. So please tune into that one. I appreciate that. The next thing I want to discuss is Manchester City. Yes, people. Manchester City are champions of England again for the third time running. Congratulations to them. Like, I'm not here to be bitter or anything like that. You gotta give them the applause. You gotta give them credit for withstanding the season and like winning the league earlier than usual as well. Like Liverpool always give them that 1 point at the end of the season. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that this season, and It looks like they're going to be on for the triple, which is the FA Cup, the league, and the Champions League as well. So they're two finals. They've won the league, and they've got the potential to break Man United's, treble we always talk about in 1999. Am I worried about the league? To a certain extent, Man City have been dominant in the last few years. Liverpool did give them a ride in the last few seasons. I'm not discrediting Arsenal's performances, but you don't give your best players to Arsenal and expect them to challenge for the league. I'm sorry. And I've always stood by it, and I said it. They're not going to win the league, Arsenal. And it came true. You know what I mean? So I have been proven right. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I can see it from a mile away. Couple of injuries, Arsenal won't be the same, and that's what's happened. And Man City, ran away with it. The worst part of it for me is Man City had a transition season with this as well. So what I'm trying to say is they've won the league early while they're transitioning in the season, and plus they got the potential to win another two trophies as well. So dominance has taken place. It depends on next season as well. Is this league going to be a farmers league, or is it going to be a league that's going to be competitive again? It's down to us, I think, next season as well. I think if we pluck those holes that need to be plucked in our team and get the right players in those holes, I think we could compete again. But if we're not, if FSG don't spend, then we're in trouble again. So we just keep an eye on that, people. Keep an eye on that. I don't see Arsenal like they will improve, but I think Man City will be that step ahead because they've done the transition this season, so they expect to get better next season as well. That's what I'm trying to say, people. Which is scary. Which is scary. I never thought the Premier League will be as dominant as this, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's down to the other teams as well. The other teams have to like step up. The other teams have to show up. The other teams have to stop being like bitter towards Liverpool and teams like that that's doing it in the right way, and make this league relevant again. Because it would be one day the way it's going, one team is gonna be doing it for the next 10 years, and it shouldn't be like that. I'm sorry. And you can't call us the best league in the world if things like that is happening in our league. It's wrong. Yes, people. That's how I see it from my end. You know what I mean? Congratulations, Man City. They've got two more cup finals to go after this. Next season, hopefully Liverpool will come up and challenge them again. But we just have to bite the right players who are going to be not only running up and down that pitch, but have quality on the ball as well. Because that's what we're struggling with the most. We haven't got that quality on the ball. So yeah, we need to improve in that, in my opinion. Let me get to the messages before I go as well. Thank you anyway. Thank you to everyone that's come on, man. Oh my gosh, I love this today. It's been a fantastic. I mean, Hannah is going to be part of the channel, so please go and follow her on Twitter and all that good stuff as well. I always go through the comments. It doesn't matter how many it is, you know what I mean? So thank you guys and boys and girls. Honestly, thank you, boys and ladies. Sorry, boys and ladies. Appreciate you guys, honestly. Trudon said realistically, Gakpo should be getting 12 to 15 goals next season. I am realist as well, bro. Even though I can't say that word properly, I don't know why. I've got a fan next to me. Sorry about that. I am a realist, and I agree with you. But with Gakpo, the thing you got to look at Trudon, he's going to be an all-rounder. He's not going to be just playing that Firmino role. He's going to be playing that number 8 role, or probably out wide as well. So expect him to play different roles next season. But you're right, 12 to 15 goals next season, I expect as well. Lewis says just the average low scores for this game across the board. That's the truth. Yeah, you can't really say any more than that, to be honest, Lewis. You're 100% right. That's just Salah for me. No effort. Salah is Salah. Salah is Salah, isn't it? Salah averaged this game 5. Yeah, 100% Redbird. Hannah says without Salah and Alisson, I dread to think where we should be this season. Two consistent players throughout their career, so thankful for them. Yeah, listen, Hannah, I'm not here to discredit the likes of Salah and things like that, but I want him to do more, you know what I mean, on the pitch than just scoring goals. He takes shots at the wrong time sometimes. Pass to your players, bro. If they're free on the far post, just give them the ball. Tap it in. Let them tap it in. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Trudon says that Salah needs a good summer break, then return next season firing. He is our main threat to be successful. Yeah, 100%. But I think we've got more power than we ever had up front now. Have you seen the players we got now? Nothing but amazing players. I think like Jota has got a big season next season as well, Trudon. I think Jota has to step up next season. He's had his injuries, he had his honeymoon period. Next season, he has to be that first team player that's firing with the rest of the players as well. Oh man, there's too many comments to read. But thank you for coming on, people. Sorry we had to leave early. Everybody has their own thing going as well, people. I try to bring the best that I can for you, and I don't want to be failing every single time I say I bring something. I don't want to be cancelling or anything like that. I want to be consistent with my streams and all that stuff. That's what I promised when I returned. I'll be more consistent. I tried to bring you a 9 o'clock. Let's talk LFC episode 40, but it's to do with personnel that not everyone can make it, and I need those people to make it because these people are very interesting that I try to bring on. So I'm going to try bring them on together another time. Let me have a rest. And I've just come back from holiday, man. And sorry. Hang on, let me go to the messages. I don't know where I was. My message on the screen refers to Hendo. I know, Hannah, I know. I already knew that. Lewis at his smile, he gets 11. John Conway says, great stream for and Bass. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. You're always welcome, you guys, to this channel. Like I said, just come on the channel, be busy on the chat, and I'll read out whatever I can as well, man. Thank you very much. Redbird says, I saw Bobby's tears. It broke me. Yes, it's hard. You know what I mean? I've always said that if you give Liverpool fans don't ask for much, only 100%. You give us 100% on the pitch, we'll support you to the hilt, and that's what we're all about. Supported this team all my life, and that's how I see it. And it's never going to change me. You know what I mean? It's not always about success. It's how hard the players try on the pitch for me. Then I'll see if my reaction will be like, sorry. Then my reaction will be towards that. If I see you like tippy tappy and jumping out of challenges and all that stuff and not trying your best, you're not for me, mate. You're not for me. Um, Fire says some fire, guys. Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone. Honestly, thank you for everyone that's turning up. Um, Lewis says, great show, lads. Thank you. Trudon says, City are an amazing team, but the FFP stuff puts a cloud over it. We have to see. We have to wait and see. They could be innocent in it. That's how they say it. They could be innocent. But at the end of the day, mate, they're winning titles and they could get out of this like they always do. You know what I mean? I'm not here to discredit their performances. They've won the league, bro. And it's hard to compete with that. Even Arsenal fans that was trashing us, saying to us, stop moaning, you know what I mean? Each time we get injuries and all that stuff, I was saying, Fozzy, you guys were right all along. It's hard to compete with these guys. Yeah, there you go, man. Even the people that trashed us are on our side now. But it's too late. We already warned it before. Gave Laser a sub, already sub to the other G's. Thank you, Redbird. I appreciate that, brother. Other clubs need to step up. Can't just blame City. Yeah, 100%. You know what frustrates me more than anything, Trudon, is when teams purposely don't win games. Like everybody's talking about the Brighton versus Newcastle game. Brighton don't owe us anything, but they had their own objective for the season and they didn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. Things like that should not happen. City cheaters will get away with the charges, brand envelopes all around. Yeah, it's always going to happen, bro. I hope I've done everything you guys asked, and I hope you enjoyed the show, people. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you very, very, very much. And I'll see you. I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. I hope we go fourth and Man United drop. That's what I'm hoping for. But, dreams might not come true always. Thank you, guys. Take care, everybody. Take care. Take care.